Hello, everybody. This is Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com with your December 1st stock market wrap update that you can use for the next upcoming sessions. First of all, I want to start out with the S&P 500. I want you to notice that on today's big sell-off, it comes right after a lower volume rally each and every day that went along last week. So every day of the 4 days that rallied last week that gave you a 12% pop and the S&P 500 was on lower and lower volume. That set up for this today. The big sell-off that was above average volume that took the S&P 500 down almost 9%. This can be seen also in the New York Stock Exchange, off 9% on higher volume. The Dow Jones Industrial Average off 7.8% on volume, just barely under average and well above yesterday's average, and on the Nasdaq, which lost 8.95% on above average on higher volume than Friday, however on lower volume than average. So it didn't quite hit average, but still fell right near the 50. Most important index of the day that failed, let me put that up there again. The Russell 2000 fell almost 12% today as it reversed near the 50-day moving average. This is not a healthy market, and what makes it even more unhealthy is how stocks act. The volatility is just insane, and that's why we have the volatility index at 68.51, and if we look on the weekly, we have volatility at levels that we've never seen before. So in 2008, the recent volatility doesn't even match anything until we get back to 1987. So since 1987, we don't have anything nearly as crazy and as random as this market is right now. This market is a psychotic bunch of random movements, and that's making it very hard for position traders to make money. I have a very lowly 25% gain on my top account this year, and folks, rather you want to believe it or not that are not subscribers, that is the worst I have ever done. I have only one more month to turn it on, and I'm sorry, it is not going to happen. So I'm going to finish this year probably up under 30% or right around 30% because I'm huge cash, over 90% cash, and this will be my lowest return ever in the stock market. But at the same time, I have an account also that was given to me in November of 2007, now down a full 10%. While that account is down 10%, the good news is that the market from the top in the Nasdaq to now is down 51%, and it was down as much as 54% at one point during the downtrend. So even though I'm very upset that I only have a 25% return in my main account, and I have an account down 10%, and even have an account down 3%, that makes me very, very upset. However, with the market off 50% and knowing that most people have to get a 100% return, whereas I only need a 12% return and a 3.5% return to break even, does put a little bit of light on the situation. Now, what I want to go over, though, after this is now the psychology of trading in a market like this. Now that you know that we've had a distribution day, that the market was down big after a very extremely obvious lower volume rally each day, my question is, why did the market pundits talk about an up 20% week all weekend long without mentioning volume? I didn't hear a single one. I didn't even read about a single one besides Investors Business Daily and some other reports that I don't want to mention that had nothing that didn't mention volume. How can you have a rally up 20% on volume lower each and every day and not tell the public about it? Is that not a biased media? Is that not a media literally saying that, hey, we're in the shill for a certain somebody and we want to make this rally look as good as possible? It's just ridiculous, and that's why the higher volume sell-off today, people say you got to buy right now, is it's a bargain. It's just a joke. And if we do hit new lows, the last thing that I want to say, but I will say, is I told you so. Bottom line is we don't have any leaders. Nothing can act right. Not even perfect shorts act right. And that leads me to one of the only stocks I want to show you on part one for the free subscribers. This setup right here is what we call a near perfect short setup. It fails at the 50-day moving average again after a few other failures and breaks down below the 200-day moving average on volume that is the heaviest it's seen all year long. And as we go back, we can see that it's the heaviest volume CHD had going back even till ever. CHD never had a sell-off on that amount of volume. Only thing that didn't make this short setup perfect was that BOP did not go red. However, it went negative. So this is about as good as they get, folks. They don't get much better than this. That big downside move right there failing, and as you can see, there's a big, long way to fall. It could possibly fall to the 10 area. From 56 to 10, that's a huge gain. However, the low volume rally that I thought would sputter out by the end kept going. And after a low volume rally the day after, which was barely up, it was still in a shortable position under the 50-day moving average. However, on Friday, with BOP going red, signaling that there was systematic distribution while they raised the bid, the stock actually closed above the 50-day moving average, thus giving me a near, it did, from my fill in the morning the day before, gave me a 5% loss, 10% on margin on a very decent sized position that I took. This was a near perfect setup, and yet it failed in 2 days. And by failing in 2 days and going red BOP, I knew by covering it all, I was going to pay for it the next day. And sure enough, today, the darn thing falls 5.5%. BOP is red now, and now it looks like the perfect short setup is there. I now would have approximately a 1% gain instead of a 5% loss had I broken my own rules and not sold all of it with the move above the 50-day moving average with BOP going red. However, had I not sold, with my luck right now, today the market would have been up 9%. This stock would have been up another 5%, thus giving me a 10% total of a 20% cut loss on a very large short position. So though the short position was near perfect here, it was quickly destroyed, and now it's quickly back to being a near perfect short position. This proves that this market is insane right now. And unless you have something that's short, like I am short ARB from way back here, and you now have a 72% gain in it from September, it's almost impossible to short anything. Here's another stock that I'm short, SDA. And from the time that I went heavily short this stock to now, it's down almost 80%. That seems to be off, so I must be short. Let me just go ahead and just put it here because I know it's around 75, 74% gain that I have right now. And it's just incredible that I can have these kind of gains from September from not even near perfect short positions. But the thing is that they were high-priced stocks. And as you see, a 70% loss here. But yet, whenever I do get a perfect short setup, it fails. It's not perfect, but even with the red BOP, now it's perfect. So this market is screwy. I got 2 new shorts. One is extremely risky. One is short-term risk. However, after watching a perfect, near perfect short setup turn into a minor loss, returning into a great short setup, boom, 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 I'm shell-shocked. I've just been hit left and right. My whole house has been destroyed. My furniture's been displaced everywhere. I got nothing left. I'm shell-shocked. I can't put on a heavy trade. So that's the emotional distress that you can have in a market like this, and this is why cash is king. And even with the professional like me that's with 90% cash that has tons of shorts that are up for winners, you want to have a quick rundown of some of my best shorts right now? Up 79%, up 70%, up 64%, up 71%. Up 72%, up 64%, up 83%, up 64%, up 61%, up 57%, up 53%. So I obviously have a lot of shorts that are doing well. Heck, I'm short 35 stocks coming in today. 34 go lower. I only have 1 to fully cover on Friday, and it's CHD. Tell me that's not bad luck, which tells me one thing. The people that are making the most money in this market aren't necessarily the most skillful. They're the most lucky. Right now, luck is trumping skill. Let's see how much more time I have with this. I have a little bit more time, and I want to show you something. Dollar bears, you continue to be wrong as the dollar moves up again today, 0.5%. Gold perma bulls, that breakout that I was telling you about that probably meant it was going to resolve itself to the upside has just rebroken back down to the downside. And that, along with oil hitting a new closing low, 52-week closing low at 49.28, along with the CRB index almost hitting a new low. I'm sorry, precious metals, not where I want to be. There's platinum. There's silver. There's gold. Sorry, not for me. There's only one thing going up that I can see right now. That's the United States dollar. So for right now, cash is king. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Aloha.